We all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy our later years full of energy, vitality, and good health. But so often, with age, our bodies start to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing and recovery time, sleep, it all just seems to go downhill. Unless you're using LifeWave. Since 2004, LifeWave has been delivering its amazing life-enhancing technology to people across the world, always helping the body do what it was designed to do, only better. And as it turns out, the best was yet to come. David Schmidt, our founder, creative force, and world-class inventor behind LifeWave technology, has recently achieved something in the field of regenerative science with a single LifeWave patch that researchers worldwide, spending years and billions of dollars, could not. Introducing LifeWave X39, the world's first product ever to activate stem cells, a true breakthrough in regenerative science that helps restore our bodies to a healthier, more youthful state in a way no other product can. The secret? By harnessing the power of LifeWave's patented phototherapy, X39 uses light to elevate a peptide proven to signal the activation of stem cells. Think about it. These are the cells that generate and regenerate all the cells and structures of the human body. They're the building blocks for our organs, tissues, blood, and immune system. They also serve as an internal repair system everywhere. But as we age, stem cells become less effective. Their ability to repair damaged tissue is reduced. In fact, by age 60, they've slowed dramatically. But all that changes when just one LifeWave X39 patch is placed anywhere on the body each day. Instead of older and less effective stem cells, X39 supports the production of younger and healthier stem cells. This amazing level of control over your vitality and well-being was simply not possible, let alone this easy, until now. And the best part? Like all LifeWave patches, X39 is safe, non-invasive, and incredibly cost-effective. Look what people are saying about LifeWave X39. Backed by clinical studies, multiple patents, and 20 years of development, any one of these benefits would be impressive. But X39 is so effective, it can influence everything about your body. How you look, feel, perform, and heal. It's time you experience the power of X39. Live long, live well, live younger. Experience the power of LifeWave today.
Light, an ancient form of energy that goes back to the dawn of time. For us, it all begins with the sun, the source of light and life for our entire solar system. Even Einstein concluded that everything we're made of contains light. All life originates with the sun through photosynthesis. Plants and vegetation collect the light, and all living creatures emit light. Humans actually emit infrared light, which can be seen with night vision devices. We've known for centuries that light has many effects on the body. LifeWave's phototherapy patches use light to stimulate the body's natural healing systems, providing specific health benefits. Here's how the technology works. First, a patch is applied to specific points on the body. Where the patch covers the skin, infrared light emitted from the body is reflected back into the tissue. This stimulates the skin, which in turn stimulates specific regions of the brain. The brain then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy and the ability to heal itself. Let's take a look at why this is important on a cellular level. For example, a number of our patch products help counteract free radicals, oxygen molecules that damage cell proteins and contribute to visible signs of aging. When the body is stimulated through phototherapy to release its own antioxidants, these free radicals are neutralized naturally. LifeWave phototherapy patches promote an environment that enables the body to optimize its restorative powers and provide specific health benefits, all without the use of harmful drugs or chemicals, all helping you to stay healthy and young. To find out more, contact your distributor.
My dream was to be a professional motocross racer from age probably 10, 11 years old. I basically practiced every single day after school, and my dad brought me to the races 35, 40 weekends a year for 11 straight years. And so that set the tone for my life in the sense of that's what I want to do. When I was 17, had an accident on my motocross bike and was out practicing, hit a rock in some grass, and it sent me flying. I landed straight down on my head and instantaneously lost feeling. So you can imagine, all of a sudden, the universe has other plans, and you adjust. The first time I got in a racing wheelchair, it was the first time that I felt free. The first time was just blissful. It was the first time that I forgot about my accident. I forgot about what I couldn't do. I started remembering what I could do and who I was. And all of a sudden I was lit up. After my accident, the first thing I did was set a goal to finish a marathon. And then fast forward 10 years and I did almost 30 marathons. And shortly after doing my first triathlon, I realized I wanted to do an Ironman. And shortly after that, I made it my goal to win Ironman. It's 140 miles, 2.4 mile swim in the ocean, 112 mile bike in the lava fields, and a 26.2 mile marathon. And this takes about 12 hours to complete. Fast forward 8 years, heartbreak, failure, ups and downs, roller coasters, and I get to the Ironman World Championships, and I win. I'm not interested in being a disabled person. I'm interested in doing something that's big on this planet. And for me, it was, how do I get the best for myself? And for me, it just was athletics, and sports was the vehicle. And so ever since then, it's just, how do I be my best? I first discovered LifeWave because I had pulled my shoulder cross-country skiing. So as a wheelchair athlete, cross-country skiing is just arms. So you can imagine just arms, no core abs, no back, and a freak accident. First time I'd had an injury in 29 years. And an acquaintance from Facebook reaches out because they see my post on social media saying I had injured my shoulder. Like, I've got something I think that may help. Fast forward a week and a half, I get these patches in the mail that are the size of a quarter. I stick it on my arm. I wake up the next morning. All of a sudden, I wake up, I've got less soreness in my shoulder. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It's half gone after 10 hours of sleep. This is amazing. Blew me away. Fast forward 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'm putting those things on every day. And I'm getting the same results every day. Why did I spend $25,000 on stem cells injections where I could be getting, I don't know, the same results with a fraction of the cost? And it's so easy, no prescription, and it's safe. Healing, recovery, bone health, soft tissue injuries. I'm just using my shoulders for all mobility. I'm doing an Ironman that's 140 miles long that takes me 11 hours. I got to take care of my body. So having a product like LifeWave makes so much sense to me because first of all, there's no chemicals I'm putting in my body, so it's all natural. And knowing that it's making me better while I'm sleeping, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's your mindset that's gonna make you succeed or not. Every day when you wake up, you can choose to have any attitude you want. And so that same mindset is the reason why I use LifeWave. It's the reason why I push myself. You're gonna fall, you're gonna stumble. With the right mindset, with the right attitude, there's nothing you can't do. Taking that attitude in life not only makes you feel good, it makes the people around you feel better. And then all of a sudden, the world is better. Such a cool way to live.
It's not too often that an opportunity comes along that puts you in the right place at the right time with the right product. But that's exactly where you find yourself as you discover the power of LifeWave technology and the opportunity it represents for you. Our mission? To share products with the world that enhance the health, wellness, beauty, and longevity of every person we encounter. If that resonates with you, take a moment and imagine. Have you heard about the billions being spent in the race to cash in on the promise of stem cells? We're told the possibilities in the future for improving our health and wellness using stem cell science from Big Pharma are huge. But what if the future was now? What if you could be perfectly positioned to take advantage of the stem cell revolution today? Partnering with an established company with proven technology, using a business distribution system that puts you in the driver's seat now. Too good to be true? Absolutely not.
It's what the world wants. We don't want drugs. We don't want injections. We don't want surgery.
I've never seen anything like this in 21 years of being a doctor, anything coming close to doing what this technology does for people.
This is a pivotal moment in alternative medicine and in the future of technology and healing and helping people.
Stem cells are the future. As a wellness company, we needed to be part of the stem cell revolution. And with X39, that's exactly what's happened.
That's David Schmidt, LifeWave's founder, CEO, and inventor of X39, his latest breakthrough in what is wearable, virtually weightless technology.
I'm now 50 years old and I feel like 30 years.
In 2 days, X39, my knee pain was really gone.
It's a really fun thing to share with people because everybody is amazed by it.
What does X39 do? It harnesses light to elevate a copper peptide proven to activate stem cells.
We're bringing regenerative science to everyone, and we're doing it safely and inexpensively and with extraordinary benefits. So this is why we have such an advantage in the marketplace and what makes our opportunity for our business builders so enormous.
This is cutting-edge science with no competition that's safe, affordable, non-invasive, and drug-free. We have an X39 video that tells you all about the science, so be sure to watch it. But with over 80 clinical studies behind it and multiple worldwide patents protecting it, the science is settled.
It's a game changer.
There's absolutely no competition.
You're not going to be able to find this in any other different company.
So where do you come in? Our distribution model is network marketing, an industry that approaches $200 billion a year in sales worldwide. People telling people about products and building teams of team builders that accelerate that word of mouth. It's big business, and LifeWave is growing fast within it.
It's very unusual that you would have cutting-edge science make its way into network marketing. But as it turns out, because our products produce immediate effects, immediate benefits, sharing the product face-to-face makes it the ideal way to share the technology.
The only thing you have to do is go out and share it with people. That's it.
You don't have to be a medical doctor like me. Everybody can do this.
You try the patch and you love it.
The reaction that people give us is like, wow.
With warehouses now in multiple countries and the capability to manufacture millions of units per month already in place, LifeWave is ready for you. Just think about who you know and all the people they know that would like more energy without the buzz, to reduce or eliminate pain, to sleep better, all without drugs, to look and feel younger without risky procedures. The list of benefits using our products is long. The market's vast. Are you starting to get the idea here? You're on the threshold of something significant. I mean, think about it. This is an opportunity with global reach where there's help and support alongside you every step of the way, and it's all fueled by a science that has no competition. As a member, you have an incredible array of marketing support, training, and business services that allow you to focus on what's important, spreading the word about LifeWave and helping us expand.
The growth in the future is going to be fast because of X39.
Once you learn about the X39 and you see what it's doing for people, for me, I feel like it's an obligation to share it.
Today, more and more people are really looking for solutions for a better lifestyle.
Everybody wants to look younger, everybody needs more sleep, wants to have more energy, wants to get rid of pain.
And LifeWave is fun because you're making a difference in people's lives. It's not a little difference, it's a big difference.
LifeWave gave my children their mother back. When you're able to move someone's health as much as we can with LifeWave, see what change that make into people's life, that's amazing. It is. You can literally change someone's life. And I love that.
So there you have it. Look, whatever you want, however high your goals, however big your dreams, it's all possible with LifeWave. So be sure to get back to the person who suggested you watch this video and get started today. Try X39 or one of our other fantastic products so you can learn for yourself what all the excitement is about when it comes to LifeWave. Whatever you do, though, be sure to get started today because the clock is ticking. The time is now. You don't want to miss out. We're building LifeWave to $1 billion company. Let's do it together.
Okay, it's time for the, here we go. The Canadian distributors within LifeWave, or the people who are Canadian, such as myself, but the people, the prospects, your friends, your connections who are Canadian, how it affects them. Now, these are the official FAQs. I'm not going to read them. The reason they're on the screen is so that you can come back if you choose to and read them in detail by pausing the replay. So let me just go here, okay? You could pause that, read that, because I'm going to tell you in my own words what's up and how I am approaching it. I'll stop here for a sec. Take a look at that if you want to. Just pause it. Go down here, and that's it. Okay. Now it's time for me to kind of narrate how this works in my own words and how I am tackling this. So here we go. It's going to be pretty unfiltered. Okay, so let's go. Let's tear the Band-Aid off. I just got this news last month, really, because last month there were loopholes around this, but unfortunately for Canadians, LifeWave is not available anymore. Yes, there are a few products, but without X39 and all of the star products, I'm not interested in inviting Canadians in, unfortunately. Now, I am Canadian. I'll tell you how I am getting around this, but you know how many countries we cater to? Canada is the only one out of all the list of countries that does not allow X39, X49, oh, the list goes on, the Y age group packs, everything. All that's allowed into Canada because of Health Canada. It's not LifeWave's fault. Health Canada is super strict, but they're not letting the products into the country at this time. So if Canadians approach me to come in, I just say, give me your name. I'll call you when we're available in Canada. Because without all the star products, it's not, well, it's not worth it. Okay, that's my humble opinion. I want people on X39. I want people on all the star products, not just have some slim pickings here. So there you go. I'll start like that. Not available in Canada at this time. So if you are Canadian and you want to join me on this journey, unfortunately, I'll have to take your name and I'll let you know when it becomes available, if ever, in Canada. I'm just being completely transparent, guys. Health Canada is super strict. I can't say why. Well, I can assume why, hypothetically, they I gotta be careful what I say, but healthcare systems make a lot of money off people being sick. I didn't say that. LifeWave works so incredibly well that Big Pharma loses out. So that's what's going on in my just opinion, but I don't know anything, okay? I don't know anything. This is just it's just a wild guess, okay? I'm not supposed to say any of that. I'll probably cut it out of the replay. So, not available in Canada. As a distributor, you can't even get the products yourself. So to say I was devastated, yeah, for sure I was devastated. I need my X39s, personally speaking, first of all, because I am a product of the product, and I have distributors. We have distributors on the team that are Canadian. So this is moving forward. I'm not going to be bringing in any Canadians, obviously, but we only have how many other countries? Seriously, I'm a business guy. So this is really to address moving forward here, because I think I addressed recruiting or bringing in Canadian distributors and customers. It's not a viable option because the products cannot get in the country. So that's as simple as I can put it. Now for the distributors on our team, you're probably asking yourself, well, what are you doing, Mark? Why are you still doing this? Well, I'll be honest with you guys. When I got the news, when I tried to order last month, and I got the news that they're not even letting the products into Canada, I was devastated. But as any entrepreneur knows, sometimes if you go against the grain, well, always, you kind of have to fight for something that's right. And at first, I contacted every leader I know. If you're a leader and you're watching the replay, I probably contacted you, all the top leaders, to find out for another option. I'm like, I don't think I can do this anymore, because if I'm not a product of the product, so on and so forth. So I got pitched a lot of quality businesses, absolute amazing companies, amazing products. But then I just looked at what we have here and I said, it's just, the opportunity is too big, Mark. You got to keep going with this. Are you going to let no entry into Canada, the product not enter into Canada, your inability to bring in Canadian distributors out of all the countries on the globe, pretty much, are you going to allow that to stop you from building a huge business here all over the world except for Canada, where you happen to reside? I'm like, no, I can't. The product is so crazy and the opportunity is so big that compared to everything else I've seen, and guys, I was shopping for another company to run with. I am a network marketer, so I was like, oh, I got to find an option because I always want to be involved in network marketing, and nothing even came close. So, well, I'll give you a few reasons why. Here's a few reasons why nothing even came close. Okay, here's just a slide I just have on my computer here. Why the company ships globally, we are in demand globally, have been approved globally, except Canada, but everywhere else. 15 years building the foundation, available in 10 languages, customer service videos, online tools, marketing materials, sales aids. There's 14 fulfillment centers worldwide. These guys ship like pretty well instantly all around the world. Customer service in Ireland, Japan, Taiwan, 220 employees, ability to manufacture 1 million packets of patches per month, and we're only tapping 6% of this. I mean, I could go through the whole slideshow, but I won't. But the timing as well, it's on trend. The stem cell market is predicted to go from 7 billion to 14 billion in the next 2 years. I want my piece of the pie on that. We're in the sweet spot positioning. Since X39 was released only 2 years ago, we have experienced a 250% growth in sales per year. That's absolute momentum. Right now, we are the first to introduce X39 to the United States and internationally, except Canada now. Now is the perfect time. And I mean, there's slides and slides. I'll go through the whole slideshow, maybe on a future presentation. Actually, I'll be doing these presentations regularly, probably daily soon. And at the end of the day, the product just works so well and no one knows about it. There's absolutely nothing like it. And again, you guys are already in the team if you're here in the Tuesday meeting. So you already know what X39 does. So I says to myself, I'm going to keep running with LifeWave. Now, because I am Canadian, this is the webpage people see, which is very unfortunate. If I pick another country, you'll see what happens. Let's just go United States. Submit. Then everyone else gets the webpage with the X39 and you can go and do your thing. Your replicated site will look exactly like this. Now mine defaults to the Canadian one. This is the first thing I need to do. And if you are a Canadian distributor and want to do what I do, I can't really coach you through it because like I said, I'm putting a stop to bringing in Canadians. However, this is for the existing distributors now. We're on to that right now. How am I getting around it? Well, the first thing I do is I ask people to select their country immediately when I send them to my link. Because if they don't select their country, they're going to see the Canadian options, which are nothing. It's IceWave and Alavida. It's not the Star products. So that's simply what I do. If you're not from Canada, you can ignore this part, but you should probably not ignore it because even if you're not from Canada and Canadians approach you, you can say no right away. I'll take your name and I'll call you when we're available. But if you are Canadian, your website will show what I just showed, the default, which was the IceWave. You want to guide people to the country they are from. So you want to ask them to click this immediately. That's if you're from Canada, because your replicated page will be Canadian. Now, if you're Canadian and you're a distributor and you drop out of this company, I completely understand. 100%. I completely understand. First of all, you can't get the product. So I'm not like saying, get out of here if you're Canadian. It's all over for you. But honestly, it's going to be a tough road. It's going to be a tough road. Like I've got a challenge upon me right here, but I'm no stranger to challenges. Every day is a challenge for me. So I'm just like, I navigate through it. So that's the first thing I will do as a Canadian distributor is not accept other Canadian distributors. I'll take their name. I'll say we're not available currently. I'll call you when we are. Number one. Number two, I get them to select their country when they land on my page because as a Canadian distributor, the other page shows up. And from here, I am golden. I will still rise to SPD as a Canadian who can't get the product in his own country because I will be bringing in people from all around the globe, except for Canada. Hope that makes sense. I'm in the chat all night, right, guys? You know this is pre-recorded here, but I am in the chat all night. And I will be opening up the floor after this whole presentation, this pre-recorded presentation. Now, here's another thing I probably shouldn't say, but I'm going to, I don't know, if I use the word hypothetically, apparently I'm safe. Let's find out. How do I get the product now? Because I'm hooked on the product. It's changed my life, and it will continue to change my life. You're probably asking yourself that, right? Probably. Well, first of all, I'm a manager. I'm a director. I'm a director. Just about to turn senior director very soon. I'm a director in LifeWave, so I need to order 110 PV, which is 2 sleeves every month. And I've been doing that for the better part of a year and a half. And I ordered the diamond pack. And I don't give free samples. So unless I'm popping 20 patches on myself per day, I'm not going to get through my stock because I only need 1 sleeve per month. And with the diamond pack, you get a lot of sleeves. I don't know, what is it, 19 sleeves or something? So I have such a stock already. Like I literally have baskets of sleeves right now of X39, X49, glutathione, Eon, energy enhancer. I have it all. I have like so many stacks. So I am good personally for a very, very, very long time. It was done legit. Before they stopped it from coming in, I got it in, right? And what happens is because I order 2 sleeves every month and I've been doing that for over a year, you can imagine the kind of stacks I have. So I am good, and can you understand why I am good? But a new Canadian, it makes no sense. It would make absolutely no sense. Now, if you're asking, what happens when your stock runs out? Well, when my stock runs out, that'll be in a heck of a long time. But when my stock runs out, well, I know a couple of people, and I'm just saying, it's here we go. Hypothetically speaking, would it be that difficult to, hypothetically speaking, would it be that difficult for one of my team members to hook me up? Like if I PayPal them, you know what I mean? That's just all hypothetical. There's always a way because I'm not going without X39. So there we go. I hope that addresses the Canadian issue. And there's probably another small detail. I need to remain active, obviously, to get paid. So if you're asking yourself, well, then do you order IceWave or Alavida? That's exactly what I do. I order the Alavida pack, which ends up being 119 PV, and I need 110 PV. So I'm gonna I'll just use the face cream and night cream. So I think that addresses the Canada issue. Again, I'm in the chat. Go ahead, ask all the questions you need. I'm there live right now. Now we're going to go to the Alavida presentation with David Schmidt. So here we go. The final part of tonight that's pre-recorded, and then I'll open up the floor and we could have discussions. Okay, let's go. Let's hear from David Schmidt, the president, on Alavida.
But for today, we wanted to focus on Alavida. And I know that you have some things that you wanted to share, just jumping right into it. You wanted to kind of walk us through the product itself. And so I'm going to turn the time over to you to do that. And then we'll just kind of continue the conversation.
Sure. Well, Jeff, maybe before we get to the PowerPoint, we could talk just for a minute or two about the history of Alavida, so our members have some context for that. So when I started the company in 2002, it was all based around energy enhancer, and it took 2 years to figure out how to manufacture the patches, how to do our clinical studies, what marketing method were we going to use, and then we finally went to market in late 2004. So actually, our anniversary is coming up very soon, November 10th, as the official date that LifeWave started as a network company. And then, as we proceeded with lifestyle products and then into anti-aging, the development of Alavida was very, very interesting in that we had the patch, but we didn't know how to really market it. So the Alavida patch is designed to elevate epithalamine. And it's worth spending a minute talking about this. Mm-hmm. So epithalamine is a peptide that's naturally found in the pineal gland of the brain. And in biology and medical school, what's taught is that the hypothalamus is the center of the brain. And that's not completely true. In other words, you could make a case that it actually all starts in the pineal gland. And what's interesting about that is that the pineal gland is connected to the visual cortex. So in other words, we have light coming into our eyes. Light goes into the visual cortex, and then those photons of light go into the pineal gland. And the pineal gland, in turn, initiates signaling molecules. These are hormones and neurohormone precursors which signal the hypothalamus into controlling the rest of the body. So what's important about that is that we start to see a very intimate relationship between how our body functions, how it's controlled ultimately by light and electrical signaling, and the significance of the pineal gland. So when we're looking at, why should anyone care about this, right? Other than it's really interesting stuff. Well, to the Egyptians, the pineal gland was the seat of the soul. And how would they know this, thousands of years ago? That's kind of a fun subject to really talk about. But if the pineal gland is the seat of the soul, and the pineal gland is regulated by light, then this gives birth and recognition to the idea that we are indeed, beings of light and children of God, right? So that to me is very, very appealing on linking in the spiritual and physical aspect of humankind. But in a practical sense, when we're looking at how to defy aging, how to stop the aging process, how to reverse aging, if the pineal gland is controlling the rest of the body, then maybe there's a way to defeat aging through the pineal gland. And this was a question that was asked by a scientist in Russia by the name of Vladimir Kavinsyn. And really interesting guy. I hope I get the opportunity to meet him someday, although given that he's in Russia, I wouldn't count on those prospects. But incredible guy based on his research. And essentially what he has spent his career doing is looking at how we can take peptides that originate in the pineal gland and also in the thyroid and the thymus and use those to resolve some of the issues with aging. So in the case of Alavida and the pineal gland, one of the most powerful peptides he found was epithalamine. And he created a product called Epitalon, so if people are interested in that. And what it's been found is that Epitalon will lengthen the telomeres and will reduce oxidative and inflammatory stress. So I set out to create a patch that would elevate epithalamine and reduce oxidative and inflammatory stress, and that's where we got Alavida, and we're going to see the results of that in just a minute. So what's interesting here is that in the genesis of Alavida, we had the patch, but how to market it, right? It's not really very sexy to say, hey, we've got a product to reduce oxidative stress, right? That's not necessarily, a marketing benefit. And so I discussed that with our team at the time. And what started to come up with is, well, maybe this is a good opportunity to introduce a new skincare system. And the philosophy would be, let's protect the health of the skin from the inside out and the outside in. So maybe what we'll do is we'll partner with a dermatologist, cosmetic scientist, and develop natural and organic skincare products so that what we're putting on our skin, which goes into the body, is healthy not only for the skin but the body, will provide the nutrition that the skin needs to thrive. So we want to look much more past simple hydration. We want to look at how can we repair damaged collagen, and the patch is going to help to protect the skin from aging from the inside out. So that's the background of Alavida. And I'm going to stop talking and give you an opportunity to talk now.
No, this is fascinating stuff. We love hearing it. And as we were chatting a little bit yesterday on that history, it was really fascinating to me. Well, I would love to know, just before you jump into your PowerPoint, is can you expound a little bit on this idea of, working from the inside out and the outside in? You talked a little bit about it, but I'd love to know a little bit more, because that really is one of the things that makes this such a unique product line compared to what you would go out and find, say in the market or, in the mass grocery stores.
Yeah. So if we're looking at what the overall plan should be in life for most people concerning our health, we would like to, I think most people would like to be in a position where they could increase their health span. So let's say maybe 100 years for some people. This is all a mindset issue. It's not my mindset. My mindset is very different when it comes to aging and goals. But let's say people are thinking, well, I'd like to live to be 100, and I'd like to be strong and healthy and not be sick and not have to depend on other people, right? That'd be a reasonable goal and something that's achievable. So when we say that's the plan, how do we achieve it? Well, we have to exercise. We have to exercise and do resistance training to maintain the strength of the bone and make sure that our muscles are not going to atrophy. That's got to be a base. We've got to take in enough protein and healthy fats and B vitamins and so forth each day to fuel our bodies so we can support those systems. We've got to be drinking enough water. Don't smoke, right, preferably, and the patches are going to fit in and support all of those systems, especially with products like X39, which help keep our cells young and healthy. So if we look at it from that perspective, then we can say in research today surrounding aging, there's a few mechanisms that are very well defined that contribute to the aging process. Some of it is a little bit chicken and egg, which comes first. But one thing that's known for sure is that as we age, the body starts to accumulate oxidative chemicals which damage healthy tissue, and we accumulate, first it starts out as an acute state, then a chronic state, inflammatory markers. And both of these classes of molecules damage healthy tissue. And there's even a term today that we associate with inflammation as associated with aging. So that all said, Alavida, products like Alavida and Eon are important because if we can regulate the inflammatory process and not damage healthy tissue, we can stay healthy and we can defeat at least a portion of aging. So there's a type of mollusk that lives to be over 500 years old, and the cell membranes don't have any trace of inflammation. And so that's one of the reasons why they don't show any evidence of aging, and they're young and healthy even at 500. So it can't be stressed enough how important it is to properly manage oxidative and inflammatory stress.
And then from what I'm hearing from you, managing that, with the patch and combining that then with this external skincare that you put on is what kind of makes that even more effective than it might have been, without the combination of wearing the patch as well.
Right. So yes, that's right. So there's a company that's selling a product. I'm not going to mention the company, and I'm not knocking them, but they have a product and they'll say, well, if you take this, then, 10 or 20 years from now, you'll see the benefits. And on a technical basis, I'm not sure the product works anyway. I'm not convinced about it, but quite frankly, consumers want benefits today. They want to see, okay, I'm going to take a product, and if it sounds good, that's great, but how is it going to show up as a benefit in my life? And one of the things about LifeWave that we see in our clinical studies is that there are very fast short-term benefits. So with X39, people can see an improvement in sleep the very first day. People can start to see an improvement in support of the natural wound healing process in a week, 10 days, 3 weeks. these things happen very quickly. And we also know that a year out, 2 years out of using X39 and other patches, they're getting additional benefits. So with Alavida, it's very much the same way, is that if we're managing oxidative and inflammatory stress, our clinical studies on the Alavida system show, hey, after 2-3 months, well, even after 30 days, there's a very significant improvement in the quality of the skin, but the underlying mechanism of how it does that is going to give people benefits for many, many years to come. So you get the short-term benefits, and then you get long-term protection of health.
I love that. It's such a powerful story. Again, just nothing else like that on the market today, and really a strong differentiator. So I guess as we start into this conversation, great kickoff to this. Now, yesterday when we were talking, you walked me through a full presentation, and one of the real benefits of seeing it from start to finish is that it gives a really good holistic view kind of where the whole process of Alavida, the different components from, the day to the night to the patch. Is that something that you would feel comfortable kind of walking us through and sharing with us on this call?
I will do that, and I will not do it as quickly as I did with you yesterday. That wouldn't be fair to our members.
Amazing information. So I'm thrilled to kind of sit back on mute and let you take it away from here for
All right, that sounds great. Thank you, Jeff. All right. Okay, so this is actually from a presentation that I did going back to 2017. So the information is just as relative today as it was back then. And, some important things about Alavida, as I already mentioned, is that we started with the patch, and then we built the skincare systems, skincare products rather, around it. And some of the things that were really important, we wanted to work with someone credible. We worked with a cosmetic scientist who's multiple patent holder in developing Alavida. We needed to have this be a natural product. And the idea here is that when you put something on the skin and the skin stays wet, it's a transdermal mechanism. At least some of the skincare products going to get into the body. So with most skincare products, there are synthetic ingredients we definitely don't want in our body. So we wanted to use naturally occurring materials. This also had to be science-based, had to have clinical research behind it. So we went to one of the top clinical labs in the United States that does testing of cosmetic products for all the big skincare companies, and we had them do our clinical study. And we wanted people to see and experience results very, very quickly, which they do. So yeah, again, if we keep in mind that what we're putting on our skin gets into our body, then we're going to scrutinize skincare products through that lens and not want to put most skincare products on us. We also wanted this to be therapeutic in the sense that we're really interested in protecting the health of the skin, and we're interested in repairing elastin and collagen. We're interested in promoting the natural production of hyaluronic acid to keep the skin moist and hydrated. And we have mechanisms to make that possible. We also wanted to, from the beginning, to provide a complete system. So we have a daytime formula, a nighttime formula, and the patch, which is used at night. So that's the system. Jeff, I think it's fair to say, we've talked about some other Alavida products that we might want to add to the line in the future. So, wouldn't rule out that happening in the future. So with Alavida, we decided that this has to be natural, and we wanted to leave out synthetics that are known to cause problems. So that's an important part of this, is it's not only about what we included, but what we didn't include. And in most countries, you're very limited about the claims that you can make. So for example, here in the United States, and also in European Union, a cosmetic is exactly that. You have cosmetic benefits. So you can say things like, your product reduces the appearance of lines and wrinkles. Your product improves hydration of the skin. You can't make structural claims because then it's considered a medical claim, and then you no longer have a cosmetic product. So that's why you see the claims structured the way they are. That doesn't mean that there's not more going on that's beneficial for the skin. So let's take a look at the daytime product. And the daytime product is not only moisturizing, but it's also anti-aging, and it's a very nice complement to the Alavida patch. One of the core philosophies on this is that we wanted to base the product off of algae oil. And reason is that algae oil is rich in DHA, which is an essential fatty acid. I was looking at actually an article that was released today on the human brain and how over time natural anti-inflammatory molecules in the body that decline with age lead to a decline in cognitive function. This is something that's really been known by natural healthcare practitioners for many decades, but something else that happens is that as our body gets a decrease in DHA, the brain will shrink. So we want to have foods like salmon in our diet. We want to have olives, which have monounsaturated fats, but we want to have a source of DHA in our diet because it can help to protect the integrity of the brain. Now, vitamin C is really interesting in the sense that, and this is a lipid form, meaning a fat-containing form. And lipid vitamin C is going to get into the body very, very easily, and it triggers repair of damaged collagen structures in the body. So use of the skin for supporting reduction in fine lines and wrinkles is pretty obvious. But you know, what else could you do with vitamin C? Let's say we have some members, maybe they have lost cartilage in their knees, in their shoulders. You can take high doses of vitamin C by IV, oral supplementation. It will trigger an increase in glutathione, and it also triggers a repair of damaged collagen and cartilage. So we've actually had experiences where using our glutathione and Eon patch with supplementing with collagen and vitamin C, people regrow the lost cartilage in their knees and other joints. So it's very powerful. Rice bran oil, moringa butter, macadamia seed oil, which is very rich in monounsaturated fats, jojoba oil. The cosmetic scientist that we were working with on this recommended this blend because it closely mimics the oils found in human skin. Meaning we've got these oils and they're going to hydrate the skin, but they won't feel greasy, and they'll also be absorbed very quickly into the body. So that means your skin can stay hydrated. You can have, in some cases, an immediate reduction in the appearance of lines and wrinkles, and your skin won't be greasy. And then the rosemary extract. Rosemary is a natural antioxidant, and we included the rosemary extract to protect the oils from oxidation. We also, of course, have an airless pump, and the airless pump also protects the integrity of the ingredients in the product. So, you know, the bottom line on this is that because of the antioxidant activity and the oils, we can improve the hydration of the skin. We can protect your body or your skin from environmental toxins. We have a natural barrier. Long-term, daily application of vitamin C helps to repair damaged collagen and improve complexion. So it's very thin, as you would expect for a daytime formula, so it's not going to be greasy. So then we get to the nighttime formula, which is really interesting. It's really interesting because one of the things we found with this, quite by accident, is that it will, in most people, almost immediately get rid of a sunburn. And I've got some Irish blood. I've got Italian, German, and Irish blood, and my skin is apparently Irish because I've gotten sunburns my entire life. And I applied. I was living in California at the time, went out in the sun, got a sunburn, applied the Alavida, and I thought, oh, let me try this because it's got vitamin C, and vitamin C is great for a sunburn. It was like instantaneously, the sunburn started to go away. So we had a cruise, and we decided to give all of our members a free bottle of Alavida to protect them from sunburns, and it worked out great. So it does have a sun protection factor to it, but we don't make that claim for regulatory reasons. But one thing that distinguishes the nighttime formula from the daytime formula is that it contains milk peptides. And what's important about milk peptides is that they will cause the body to increase production of hyaluronic acid. And in studies that I've looked at, there's nothing wrong with putting hyaluronic acid on the body, but it's preferable to use nutrients that will naturally increase production of hyaluronic acid, which moisturizes the skin. So milk peptides will do that. And as with our daytime formula, we use a base of microalgae oil, and the two ingredients here, which are having a significant impact on quality of the skin, are the milk peptides and the fat-soluble vitamin C. We also have a base of oils, which act to hydrate the skin and provide a delivery system for the milk peptides and the vitamin C. And what we found in our studies is that a combination of daytime and nighttime formula, specifically the nighttime formula because it's a little thicker, will reduce the appearance of lines and wrinkles and support regeneration of the skin. So if we're applying these topically and we're reducing oxidative and inflammatory stress with the patch, we can really get great results with this system. This is something else which is important to think about relative to aging, and it's that unfortunately by around age 25, the fibroblasts start to decline in their production of collagen. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the body, and it forms what's called the cytoskeleton. So it's the skeleton of the cell, and as collagen production decreases, the cells begin to shrink, and it becomes more and more difficult to keep the cells hydrated. So a very important concept in age reversal is to restore the collagen production in the body, or supplement with collagen, or get those fibroblasts active. And so one way you can do that is with milk peptides. And then, of course, as we already mentioned, not only do the milk peptides increase collagen production, but they also increase hyaluronic acid. So this means that milk peptides will help to support the structure of the skin and the hydration of the skin. So this is a very good complement. It's a natural formula, really good complement to the daytime formula, and it provides excellent nutrition for the skin. And what we found in our clinical studies is that over a period of 30, 60 days of using Alavida, there are statistically significant improvements in hydration, firmness, texture of the skin. So I think we've covered quite a bit of this. Let's go to the patch. We've talked about it in detail now. So I want to skip ahead to, sorry, I'm going through this quickly because we've already talked about this. So this is, this test was from a biopulsar. And I have two pieces of equipment in my lab here in Florida that I really like for testing patches, amongst other equipment. One is a biopulsar and the other is a Menla scan. And I like them both for different reasons, but they both do bioelectrical tests. Biopulsar is real time, meaning you get activity of 50 different regions of the body, real time, and within 1 to 2 minutes you can do these before after scans. So you connect someone to the equipment, you take a baseline, you apply, in this case, the Alavida patch, and then 5 minutes later, you see that there's been a dramatic change in the bioelectrical readings of the body. Now, just for clarity, this equipment provides data that would look like something like an EEG, but for 50 different regions of the body. So you can look at the bioelectrical activity in the liver, the kidneys, the frontal lobes, and so forth. And then you can take the data and translate it into an image so you can get a very quick read what's going on. And so this was a 62-year-old man. The readings on the left, the baseline, are not surprising. And we can see that there is a massive increase in bioelectrical activity in the body after 5 minutes. This turquoise color represents a perfect reading. Now, this was a woman, 43 years old, that had actually a significant number of health challenges. Again, the turquoise color would be considered a perfect reading, and within 5 minutes, very, very dramatic change. So what this means is that her health problems didn't go away. What it means is that the bioelectrical signaling in the body started to stabilize. And that's important because we know that the bioelectrical system in the body controls the biochemistry. So if we can stabilize the bioelectrical system, it's much easier to have good health. So we had shown, we did some studies on this, and we showed dramatic reduction in oxidative stress. We did this not only through the bioelectrical test, but through the blood testing as well. And one really interesting thing is we did, you can see this in the research section of the website, we did electrointerstitial scanning and found that the patch activated the frontal lobes. What's interesting about this is that people experience like an expansion of consciousness. That's the way it's described to us when they apply the Alavida patch. Some people have intense dreams. Other people just have an expanded awareness, better processing of information. And we did see that this lights up the frontal lobes. So the Alavida patch, of course, it has benefits for the skin, but it reaches very, very far beyond that. And yeah, we got statistical significance that all markers of oxidative stress decreased in the body by over 17%. That's massive. We need oxidative chemicals in the body. They destroy viruses, bacteria, cancer cells. So we don't want to eliminate oxidative stress. It's important, but we want to control it and manage it so it doesn't lead to problems later in life. And when we do this, when we reduce our oxidative stress, we get a natural increase in the body's antioxidant system. So I think at this point, yeah, I think that covers a lot. I know people have questions, so that's a lot of information and covers the basis.
Oh, it absolutely is. But wow, thank you so much for taking the time to walk us through that. It's really nice to see it in kind of that linear format of each of the products individually. I was sitting here, and I mean, I work on these products, you know, in marketing them, but I was just taking notes. And so some things that I picked up on that I think are really important, being around skincare for a lot of my career. Number one is you hit on it right up front, but it has to be effective. You know what I mean? This is an experiential product. This is something that people are going to expect a result from. And the fact that there's clinical studies and testing around the fact that it absolutely does that is super important. I love the concept of working from the inside out and the outside in, the connection between, you know, the patch and then the two topical products there. You know, the ingredients you hit on are so important, you know, in today's consumers' minds. Clean ingredients, you know, things, especially when you talk about being transdermal on the lotions and things, that's such an important point. And then really kind of the last thought that I had on this, Dave, that I was really, you know, that really has been clicking recently is one of the things that's so amazing about LifeWave in general is the approach often is to help the body do what it was meant to do naturally, only better. So when you talk about the ingredients that are meant to trigger, you know, production of hyaluronic acid or production, you know, of collagen, as opposed to just using those ingredients themselves, I think that's a really powerful, you know, a really powerful point in that as well. So thank you for walking us through that and for giving us a little bit more detail on that. Just
absolutely. You know, Jeff, one other thing I was just thinking about is there are some skincare products that are on the market which claim to produce instantaneous reduction in lines and wrinkles. And I actually looked at this with a friend of mine that's a medical doctor. We looked at this back in 2006, and there was a cosmetic scientist in France that had developed this. And it was very interesting because you would apply these microspheres to the body that had the active compounds in them, and you could see within minutes there was a reduction in lines and wrinkles. And we got pretty excited about this. But then we looked at the clinical studies, and what it showed was that these compounds would unnaturally stress the skin, and it would stretch the skin and break down the collagen and elastin matrix in the skin. So after about 4 to 6 weeks of use, the skin was actually weaker than when you started. So this is something that most consumers, of course, they don't know, but there are some skincare products that are on the market that promise some very exciting benefits, but they're not at all healthy for the skin. So what I would say is be very careful about other products and evaluate them, and, you know, see what kind of information you can find, because there's some skincare products that are definitely not healthy for the skin. So it's important that a skincare product be natural when you factor in that some of the compounds are going into the body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, so we a couple of things. So we have the questions are just flying in from the community here. So
I see that.
I want to get to a few of these questions. Also, just as a preface here, when we talked about potential expansions, the guesses were going wild in the comments. Now, I won't say anything, but some of you might have been on the right track. Some of you might not have been on the right track. We can't give more than that. But wow, a lot of excitement around that piece. So first question that we've got, number one is this product only for the face, or can it be used on the body as well? And what would your recommendation be there?
Yeah, so I would say the intended use is to, let's see, the intended use, of course, is to be applied on the face. We also have our clinical studies, which is based around the product being applied on the face. But that said, there's no reason why it couldn't be applied to other areas of the body. And we've had people do some interesting things with it. Wouldn't make necessarily any claims about it. But for example, men or women that get hemorrhoids. I had a gentleman that was using the nighttime cream for hemorrhoids, and it helped to shrink his hemorrhoids. That would be a medical claim. We don't make the claim. That's completely anecdotal. But I thought, that was relatively interesting. Of course, if people want to apply it as a hand cream, they could. It might be a little expensive that way, but they could. If they have some type of skin irritation, it's probably okay to apply either the daytime or the nighttime that way. So yeah, and there's actually nothing in the products where you couldn't ingest it. I wouldn't advise it because it would be unpleasant for the stomach. But this is just to say the products are so natural and safe that if you consume them by accident, you'd be fine.
Well done. Okay, so another question that I'm seeing here is in addition to the patch, in addition to using these two skincare products, are there any other lifestyle? I mean, you talk a lot about holistic, living, about all the different pieces of the puzzle. But what else would you recommend in terms of just healthy lifestyle living that would really help with skincare and with skin health?
Many things. So first, when we're looking at the health of the skin, we can think of this as how do we best support the health of the human body. One of the things I discussed at August convention was if we want to look at defeating aging, what are some of the ways that we could do that? And one research study that I cited was work that was done at UC Berkeley by Bruce Ames, and that showed that the combination of acetyl L-carnitine and alpha-lipoic acid could help to restore mitochondrial function and get those cells to act like younger, healthy cells. Well, it's also known that lipoic acid is excellent for the health of the skin and is used in many skincare products. So this would be a great example where you could take a supplement of acetyl L-carnitine and alpha-lipoic acid. It's going to support the health of the skin, but also you get benefits for cognitive function, you get benefits for your mitochondria. Alpha-lipoic acid helps to manage blood sugar. As a matter of fact, anyone that's on the call that is a diabetic or is a pre-diabetic, you should be taking 300 milligrams of alpha-lipoic acid 3-4 times a day, and you'll get your blood sugar under control very rapidly. I met with the scientist who did that work, and it's outstanding. Another really good example is carnosine. If people don't have their diet in check, they may want to take a beta-alanine supplement daily. But this is another great example. Carnosine is the most powerful anti-glycation nutrient that has been discovered, as far as I'm aware. And so the benefit of carnosine for the skin is that it protects it from elevated levels of blood sugar. So and it protects cross-linking in the skin. But elevating your carnosine protects your telomeres from shortening, extends your lifespan, protects and restores cognitive function, protects the health of the heart, helps to protect your skeletal muscles so you can restore strength and stamina. So there's all kinds of benefits for elevating carnosine. So those are just a few things, that you can do, and there's certainly many others. But the point is that you're not looking at just the health of the skin. You're looking at what's going to be great for the entire body, so you get multiple benefits.
Yeah, it's all connected, right?
All connected, yes.
And even something as simple as drinking enough water, those that can affect that as well. So all connected. Okay, so another question comes around, specific to the Alavida patch. So can you wear more than one? Would you ever recommend that? And then also, what kind of a placement would you recommend?
Well, in our clinical studies, we got the benefits with just one patch. And so with some patches, you can use more than one, but you may reach a point of diminishing returns. IceWave is really, and glutathione are exceptions to where there's a legitimate reason for using more than one when you're in a pain management protocol. But other than that, for most people, one patch of any of the patches is usually enough when we're in maintenance mode. So unless there's a specific outcome that someone's looking for, I don't necessarily think more than one Alavida patch is necessary. Now, the patch, because it's designed to signal the pineal gland for elevating epithalamine, I'd recommend either the right temple or what's called the third eye point on the forehead. You could also place it on the side of the neck if you had a point of tension. You had some muscle strain, you could apply it on the right side of the neck. All those points would be okay. One thing to note, though, is many people, because the patch produces such a strong bioelectrical effect, placing the patch on the right temple or the third eye can produce some pretty intense dreams. Many people love that. There's some other phenomena people have observed. So if you're okay with that, then I'd say keep doing it. And that's where, we place the patch in the studies.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, so this one, it's clearly from somebody who probably has been watching our LifeWave Connects all along and kind of starts to see the connections, but they talk specifically about how is the Alavida patch different from maybe Eon or glutathione in terms of, a healthy inflammatory response or oxidative stress. Do you see a connection in those, or maybe what's the different mechanisms on those?
Yeah, they're designed to elevate different peptides. So in the case of Alavida, it's elevating epithalamine. In the case of Eon, elevates a different peptide. So Eon is elevating a peptide in the liver, and this peptide activates what's called the primitive immune system. And as such, we see increases in glutathione and SOD, but we also see a very significant reduction in a broad range of inflammatory markers. So, for example, with Eon, we would see a reduction in lipid peroxide, homocysteine. Elevated levels of homocysteine are associated with heart disease. So we see reduced homocysteine with using Eon. We see reduction in C-reactive proteins or CRPs. We see reduction in lipid peroxides. So Eon is a broad spectrum anti-inflammatory. It does that better than Alavida. On the other hand, Alavida is better at reducing oxidative stress. So they're both important. So Eon and Alavida work very, very well together at managing the inflammatory process.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, we have time for maybe one or two more questions. So I'm gonna jump back in to hear the questions. When you look at like just a recommended, and this may be a very simple, but a recommended regimen in terms of, when to use the products, and is there a specific order around, washing your face or those types of things? Any recommendations you have there?
Yes. So we covered this at the convention in August, but generally what I would say, and this would also be maybe more cautionary for women, is apply the patches to clean, dry skin. Don't put your moisturizer on and then try to put the patch on top of skin that has moisturizer. It's not going to, stick very well. So, just to give that a little bit of thought. But generally speaking, for patches that you would wear during the day, like X39, X49, Energy Enhancer, get up in the morning, do some exercise, take a shower, then apply your patches. And then in early evening, maybe, 8, 9 o'clock, let's say, you could remove those patches. And then at bedtime, let's say before bedtime, 10 o'clock at night, you could apply your evening patches. And again, they're applied to clean, dry skin, so they're going to adhere and they're going to work properly.
I love it.
It's not complicated, right? It's it'll work as long as it's near the skin.
Yeah, it's not. But one of the fascinating things I found, at least in my time in health and wellness, is that sometimes it's just the simplicity of that habit building, right? That regimen building that becomes so difficult. And if you're willing to commit to it, and if you're willing to do it and be consistent in it, that's, I think, when you start to see, a lot of those results and a lot of the effects of the product. But it's challenging to form a new habit.
Well, I think it requires a plan. Mm-hmm. And so, when we're looking at making changes in lifestyle and we're looking at outcomes, a good way to think about it is that if you're just getting a very, very small result each day, then after a period of a few weeks, months, a year, those results are really, really going to add up. When you look at some Hollywood celebrities that prepare for a movie, regardless of whether or not they use steroids, that's a separate thing. The fact of the matter is each day is a process of eating healthy, getting, the right nutrition, exercise, proper sleep, and then over a period of, weeks and months, the body transforms. So I would look at this process that way: is first you have a plan, and then you're not trying to get results in 1 week. You're trying to get results over a very, very long period of time, right? That's how we get healthy aging and age reversal. So at events like the August convention, I help lay out a plan to help people say, this is how you can organize your day, and these are the things to think about. And that way, over a period of weeks, it becomes a habit, and then you just do it naturally. But start with a plan. Write it down.
That's the key. And there's a lot of value in research around even habit stacking, combining things and stacking onto things that you're already good at.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fantastic. I think I'm looking up the clock here. I'm realizing we're down to our last few minutes here. So let me just ask you one last question that came from the community here. So there's a question around, are the creams, can you use those standalone and will you see effects, or is it only when you use it in combination with the patch that you're going to see effects from the products?
You'll definitely see effects from just the day and nighttime formulas, for sure. You'll definitely see the effects. So it's really a question for people of, what is it that an individual wants? Maybe they start out and they try the Alavida system. I'd recommend that. And if they say, well, I really like the Eon patch, I want to use that at night, and so I'm just going to buy the day and nighttime formulas, and, that can be totally fine. So I would say, try the system, see how you like it, because it definitely works. But then over time, an individual can adjust their schedule and their patch use the way that they want.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for spending so much time with us today to talk through these products. Really, they are incredible. And one of the things I noticed is as you were talking here, is even in the comments, just testimonials kept rolling in. I've used this works, this is amazing. And it really is an incredible system of products when used together, which I think is fantastic as well. There's some great information. We have a site called myalavida.com. You can go there to get some information. Of course, on a regular website, you can go to any of the product pages, and there's information there. And then even in the science and research section of the site, you had talked a little bit about that, David, is some of that research, can be found there. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you for taking your time. Again, David, special thank you to you. Any last words before we close out here?
Yeah. There was some really disturbing stories in the news yesterday. And, it's a reminder that there is a lot of darkness in the world. And sometimes, this can be a little bit depressing. And I think it's a good time to sit back and remember that God and nature always provide solutions. There's always solutions to problems in life. And, we each face our own challenges in life, whatever that might be, with our health or our work or what have you. And I would just encourage people to pray, turn to God, look for natural solutions, and they'll find what they're looking for. But there's always hope, no matter what situation a person finds them in. It's an opportunity to change and grow and be a better person. It may not be a fun process, but there's a saying in the Bible that it's in fire that gold is purified. And I really believe that. You go through, in the challenges that I've been through in my life, I look back on those things fondly, that they weren't fun to go through, but it was a learning process, and I feel that it made me a better person. So I'm very thankful to God that I went through those things. So I'm very appreciative that I have the opportunity to be with you today and speak with our members, and have a platform where we can touch people's lives and offer them hope.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you so much. On that note, we'll go ahead and close out the call. David, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.